If you can draw eyes 100 ways, can't you figure out how to draw them yourself? Like, what have you spent all that time looking at? But they're all someone else's. God, I get so fed up of Instagram so quickly. I used to ask myself whether an artist accepting other people's opinions was ever genuine, but then slowly come to realize how it's just too much baggage when you let everybody else's perspective weigh you down. You have to just let it go and do your thing. You know, you draw it one way and they tell you what they see, and then you see that too. Cool, I did it, and they also like it. It's not very satisfying though for the person to say that they like it, because when you give someone a compliment, there's a sense that you want that compliment to be appreciated. Right? And I feel like I'm responsible for graciously accepting the compliment. I can imagine someone seeing this and thinking, how did you get here? Where did you ever start? Where's the beginning? Where's the middle? Where's the end? I really wouldn't be able to tell you. And so my mistakes might not look like mistakes. They might look like something else. And it's interesting when I make what I consider a mistake. That has to do with intent and outcome. The technique could all be there. I could have great technique and I could have a great aesthetic. But on my end, as the person who made it, if there's a variance, if there's a difference between the intent and the outcome, well then that to me is a mistake. But you can fix your mistakes by putting intent or making something of that mistake. So there's a few places in this drawing where the pen skips or the line breaks, my hand moves a millimeter, it pops out, and then on that 1/10 of a centimeter I'll just start a new pattern from that mistake, and that pattern becomes organic. I remember the drawing where I was just okay with that. I was just tired of giving it that much emphasis. I'm just gonna make something of these lines. Because I always had the sense that a drawing is just the right lines. That's all it is. It's just the right lines. That's all you have to do to draw. I remember I had a few friends who could draw far better than I could, at least from my perspective. And I would look at their lines and they just had great lines. They would put the pen on the paper and they would drag it across, and wherever the tip went, whatever residue their instrument left was just in the right place at the right time. And I just couldn't understand how their heads could make their hands move in just the right way to put those lines where they went. And so I started obsessing over that. How do I just draw the correct lines? And sometimes it was just by a bit. I would just try to draw an eye and I would draw the same curve slightly differently over and over and over until which one is the correct one. And every single one I drew, I knew from a particular perspective, this curve of the eyelid is correct. An eyelid's curve can be straight, curve, it could be any direction. Every single line and circle and thing that you draw fits somewhere. You might draw a squiggly line, and that's the right line for what I wanted to do. But eventually, because every single line is appropriate somewhere, I told myself, I'm just gonna make them appropriate because they can all fit. Even if the line crosses, it can fit, it will fit, and it does. The want for praise, the want for agreement was never as big as my yearning for just the right lines. I only feel like I'm getting closer to freedom. It doesn't feel like I'm getting somewhere. It doesn't feel like I'm achieving anything but letting go of an anxiety and letting myself progress as I will. Having an open mind has nothing to do with trying to have an open mind. It's about letting go of everything. Just let it go. Be as you will. Do as you will. Believe what you will. The only way change is going to be sincere is if it just happens on its own. And it will happen. You can't control it. I would draw when it came to me. And eventually I started to see what lines I found more beautiful. And it wasn't a matter of practice. If you can make your own beauty, you don't need to depend on others for beauty. You can just do it, and then you can sit back and enjoy it. If what you do is practice to get somewhere, when you get there, you have to then use it. Technique teaches you a vocabulary. You can practice this forever, but then if you're only ever doing that, then all you're doing is practice. You need to do something with it. How can you appreciate someone else's assessment and not be hindered by it? When I would practice anatomy, I would just be trying to draw beautiful things from my mind. I wouldn't sit down and practice. If I'm focusing on being open to change, it won't ever happen. You need to focus on what you're doing and let the changes come as they come, if they come. Don't be afraid to branch out. Don't be afraid to experiment, to do something different, to be open-minded to change.